Hey friends, I'm wondering if I can ask you to think about something just real quickly. I'd like you to identify a passage in the Bible that has given you a lot of comfort recently. Do you have one? If you do, then I bet I know something about the Bible passage that you chose. I bet it is not from the Old Testament book of Numbers. The Old Testament book of Numbers. And you might say, well, rightly so. I mean, isn't the Old Testament book of Numbers about numbers? Isn't that why it's called Numbers? And what comfort is there in Numbers? Yes, that is why it's called Numbers. There are a lot of numbers there, and we'll talk about why that is tomorrow. But you get a better idea of what's in the entire book of Numbers by looking at the original title of the book, the one given to it by the Hebrews. They called the book Bamidbar, which means in the wilderness. And that's what the book is about. It's about the time the Israelites were in the wilderness. In fact, it tells us about the majority of time they were in the wilderness. In the book of Exodus, God set them free from Egyptian slavery and got them into the wilderness. And in the book of Leviticus, the journey continued. But Exodus and Leviticus, that journey took a year and a half, something like that. The book of Numbers takes us through 38 years of the Israelites being in the wilderness. And it's a very timely book for us because in a lot of ways, we kind of feel like we're in a wilderness. In a lot of ways. When you're in a wilderness, you often feel hungry or thirsty, or you really begin to wonder if you're ever going to see again the things that you know you need. And in how many different ways is that happening right now in the world? People are hungry for peace, for love, for justice, for respect. It's happening in society, it's happening among races, it's happening in politics, it's happening at schools, it's happening in churches, it's happening among friendships and former friendships. And then on top of all that, you have all the normal things that you deal with, the things going on in your life that were happening already before the world knew anything about COVID or pandemics, the troubles and sicknesses and the things that make your heart sad, that make your heart feel hungry or thirsty. And there's something that God does in the book of Numbers again and again for those who are wandering through a wilderness. And you can see it just in the first 3 words of the book. The first 3 words of the book of Numbers are, the Lord spoke. The Lord spoke. And there are 2 things I want to highlight about that. Firstly, the Lord spoke to the Israelites while they were in a wilderness. In other words, he knew where to find them. He knew where they were, just as he knows where to find you. He knows where you are. He knows all the ways that you're hungry or thirsty. God knows. And the second thing I want to emphasize about that phrase, the Lord spoke, well, I want to take you back to the Bible passage that I asked you to think about at the beginning of this. I bet I know something about that Bible passage. It was an expression of love, or protection, or guidance, or forgiveness. God said something good to you that settled your soul. And we're going to see that over and over again and again as we journey with the Israelites through the book of Numbers. God is going to settle your soul regularly. But for tonight, just rest in the certainty that your God knows where you are, and he's ready to speak his greatest love to you. And so rest well tonight, my friends. God sees you. He knows where you are. He knows where to find you. He knows how to love you.